most private companies do not require an audit. The notion that Pty's require an audit is historic, as under the old Companies Act, this was indeed a requirement. This played a large role in the popularity of close corporations, as they did not require an audit under the old Companies Act. This all changed in May 2011 with the introduction of the new Companies Act, as no new CCs could be registered and the audit requirements for every Pty fell away. These changes have reduced the cost of maintaining a Pty and brought it in line with that of a CC. So don't be afraid of registering a new Pty, as the audit requirements have almost all but fallen away. I say almost because there are still two types of companies that require compulsory audits. The first are public companies, which are usually listed on the JSE like Nedbank or Shoprite. And the second are state-owned companies like Eskom, SAA and Transnet. But there are circumstances in which private companies, NPCs and incorporations are also required to have their financial statements audited. According to the Companies Act, this is if it is in the public interest to do so. So what do they mean by public interest? According to Regulation 28 of the Companies Act, there are three main scenarios when a company needs to be audited. Firstly, if a company holds assets of over 5 million rand which belong to other people. An investment company would be a good example of this type of public interest, as it holds other people's assets and therefore it would be in the public interest and the company would require an audit. The second scenario is if the company's public interest score is more than 350 points, and the third scenario if the company's public interest score is more than 100 but less than 350 points and the financial statements are compiled internally by an accountant employed by the company. The point system attempts to calculate the extent of the stake that the South African public hold in the company. Now, a company scores 1 point for each of the following: 1 point for each employee, another for every 1 million rand turnover, another for each shareholder, another point for each 1 million rand of third-party debt. Now, if you add up all these points and you get to more than 350, then the company must be audited, as this is deemed to be in the public interest. Let me give you an example. Let's take company ABC, which has a turnover of 200 million rand a year, 120 employees and 10 shareholders. This, by all accounts, is a huge company. If you total the public interest score, it comes to 330, which is still below the 350 audit threshold and does therefore not have to be audited. This was my point from the outset. The vast majority of private companies in South Africa will never require an audit, as they simply do not meet the threshold required. And I hope this video has been helpful. So as always, remember, we are here to help.